The buttercream components are powdered sugar, butter, which has been sitting out for 45 minutes until it's soft and pliable, shortening. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take the cocoa powder and make what's called a fudge base by adding oil to it and whisking it together. What you're making is a very thick paste of cocoa and oil. The only reason you're doing this is to make it possible for the cocoa to flavor the buttercream without turning grainy. So what you want to do first is put your powdered sugar in. Okay. On top of your powdered sugar, you're going to put in your butter. And you want to cut it up because that will help disperse the butter into the buttercream, and also for the butter and sugar to blend together very well during the mixing process. So we're going to put the shortening in next. And now we're going to go over to the mixer and start it on first speed. Using the paddle attachment, put the shortening, butter, and powdered sugar on and start it on first speed. Very important, if you've ever put the mixer on third speed with powdered sugar, you know what I'm talking about. You can wrap your bowl with a towel, kitchen towel, to also prevent the powdered sugar from spilling all over. Once my mixture has become a thick paste, I'm going to add my vanilla. Okay, once my vanilla is in, I'm going to turn it on to second speed or medium speed on a 10-speed mixer for about 10 minutes. Okay, that's in a cool kitchen. Now your kitchen should be about 70 degrees. If it's really hot that day, whip it for less time, because what's happening as you whip it with the paddle is that it's creating heat in the bowl, and that can melt your buttercream. So you want it on a nice clear day of 70 degrees, you would go about 10 minutes on medium speed. Okay, once your buttercream is aerated all the way and it's nice and light and fluffy, what you're going to do is you're going to take the cocoa base that you've made, you're going to add it in. Okay, I'm also going to, at that point, I'm going to scrape down the bowl because some of the buttercream on the top might be a little bit dense. Okay, tap it, make sure everything is all homogeneous, meaning that not homogenized, but that it's all nice and uniformly mixed. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it back on the mixer. On low speed. Okay, what we're doing now is we're just incorporating the chocolate mixture, the cocoa mixture, to make a nice cocoa buttercream. Once I'm finished with this, I can go ahead and assemble the cake. I've got my layers, I've got my whipped cream filling that's stabilized and ready to go, and I've got my cocoa fudge buttercream that's going to go around the cake. So now we're ready to assemble our cake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off this. If you have any kind of dough, maybe you can trim it a little bit, which will make it nice and level, so that the layers, when you cross them, are really even. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pipe a ring of buttercream around the outside perimeter to hold all of that whipped cream in. So you're piping basically about 3/4 of an inch, almost maybe an inch of buttercream around the edge here. And that's going to help hold in that whipped cream. Now we're going to go ahead and put in our whipped cream. Okay, once I get the whipped cream in, I'm going to put my second layer on. And one thing you notice is that the layers have been chilled, so that when I handle them, it's really not too messy of a process. Okay, now, what you're going to do is you're going to need to seal in all that whipped cream. So I'm going to go around first, and I'm just making sure that the frosting very neatly holds in that whipped cream. this stage, you could also refrigerate it like this to get the buttercream hard, and what that will do is it will make your next step even easier because the whole cake will be very, very firm. If you don't do that, what your next step is going to do is to continue frosting the cake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to frost the cake. I'm going to start with the top. Very gently push the frosting down to the edges. Be a little bit of an overhang on the cake here because that's going to be, when I do my sides, that's going to join together. So I'm going to do my sides. The nice thing about this cake is that, as in most production cakes at that time period, they have some kind of garnish on the sides. And what that means for you as the person frosting the cake is that your sides don't have to be that perfect. So if a little bit of cake shows through, when you do this stuff, don't worry about it. So basically what you do is you do a rocking motion with your knife over the sides of the cake. And make sure that the whole side is evenly covered. And once you feel like you've gotten even coverage on that, then you're going to kind of take a look at it. You're going to do your last component. So just go around very, very steadily, very slowly, keeping the knife at a straight up and down angle. Okay, so then we have our top crown. This is the ring of buttercream whipped for what you're doing, you're really just skimming the top of the cake. Okay, depending on how straight you got that layer, you have more or less of a dome on it. Now, dome always means it's made with home, tender loving care at home. And in the professional world, we try not to have a dome on it because oftentimes what we're going to be doing is writing on the cake or putting a drawing on the cake. And if we have a drawing, we want that cake to be straight. This is my finished cake before I put the sides